I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Richard, would you please do roll call?
Patricia Blackmer.
Here.
Daniel Richardson.
Here.
Suzanne Hazelaw.
Here.
Ken Kienbaum.
Here.
Richard Helmick. Here. Christopher Grady, absent. I point out that there are no staff represented tonight. And for guests, we have Randall Aschenbrenner, Lisa Smith, and David Salsa.
May I have approval of this evening's agenda?
I will so move.
I would like to make one modification on the agenda prior to your moving for approval. That would be that we would move the presentation regarding the Landmark Hotel and possible renovations forward to hear Randall Aschenbrenner speak before we start our reports.
I will second that.
I will still so move.
Yeah.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this evening's agenda with modifying it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion has been carried. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of June 1st, 2017?
I move we approve the minutes.
I will second.
Richardson has moved. Haslow has seconded approval of the minutes of June 1st, 2017. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion has carried unanimously. The date and time of our next meeting will be August 3rd, which is the first Thursday of the month. And at this point in time, here's citizen comments. No formal Landmarks Commission action will be taken during this meeting, although issues raised may become a part of a future agenda. Participants are allotted a 3-minute speaking period. Specific items listed on the agenda may not be discussed at this time. However, citizens are invited to speak to those specific issues at the time the commission discusses that particular item. Randy, you're on.
Good evening. Thank you again for moving me up. Basically what started all this was contacting the city about getting the roof replaced. It's a major issue right now, something I knew about at the beginning stages of the purchasing process, but obviously we all know what the weather's been doing this summer, so it's an immediate issue. And I think most of our society is trying to go to the metal roof, or at least a more permanent system, I guess, for roofing. Asphalt shingles are starting to be more poorly made, I guess. I'm trying to think of the materials that are being substituted now for asphalt shingles, but long story short, I want to get some ideas and feedback from you guys tonight on, I guess I really want to try and push the metal roof situation, but I want to also make sure the character is brought back to this building. A majority of these pictures will show that the character has been removed for the most part, especially the interior. These cloth awnings that are on here too, I'm not exactly sure what the age is, but I know that the previous owner had some city assistance with the installation and purchase of those, and they're all shot, which has a lot to do with the roof. There's a lot of ice damming, so the gutters get destroyed pretty quickly, and ice just falls from one awning to another. And so I guess the biggest thing is the roof, and I also would like to do a new entry roof over the concrete steps you see on the front of the West Main Street entrance, and then also a more deeper roof or canopy over the downstairs bar opening, which is the stairs that goes into the basement there. I'll have another picture here shortly on that. But those are things I want to get the weather away from the most important issues, which are the steps and windows. And so that's obviously the front. You guys have all seen this over time. The other thing too is that green wood shake siding. I'd love to put wood back up, but I'm also looking at something that'll be around for 50 years and doesn't have to be painted every 5 to 10 years. I'd like to do a metal or vinyl replacement, but again, it has to be something that ties in well with that cream brick. And I guess, again, I'm looking for feedback on that. Here's just another more close-up picture, but you can see the 2 stainless steel railings for the downstairs bar entrance in the bottom left corner. And I just want to bring out the roof, some canopy out to that entire step area, so the snow and the rain does not get down in that pit. There's absolutely no drain down there right now. I'd have to rip out pretty much the majority of the front sidewalk area and refeed it to the city services to get a proper drain in there. But just common sense to get the ice and rain and everything else away from those top steps that are not currently covered. Same with the main entrance too. All those steps are just getting deteriorated right now. Again, these are actually former pictures I took just because of this is a downspout issue. But again, I want to address that. One of my goals is to figure out the roof color and then complement that with the downspout and gutter colors. I really want to bring out the brick, the cream brick color again, and I would like to do a red or a green or a black trim for gutters and downspouts and fascia and basically the canopy roofs too, or even a charcoal color. Darker is better from what all the roofs guys have told me. This is the lobby. That metal ceiling is, I was in Lake Geneva 2 Sundays ago and I saw a perfect, I saw a red ceiling like this and it was spotless. It looked like a brand new car paint job. So I want to bring that back out. I want to get rid of the wood paneling in here. Everything's just been kind of covered over with 70s and 80s remodels. So
Excuse me, I just want to make one point, Randy.
Yep.
You can do anything you want with the interior.
okay,
It's the exterior that we are concerned
I'll
about.
shoot through these and I'll go
Okay.
right through them. All right. The back here, I just at some point I want to remove this garage. Again, I apologize. I'd like to zoom in, but this keypad is really sensitive. But the garage is a cinder block garage. It's shifted. It's about to fall over. The roof is so bad that it's not keeping one drop of rain out, and it's actually taking up 3 valuable parking spots.
Is the garage the building on the right?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the
Gray building there?
yes,
Okay.
it's the one closest to us on the right middle of the picture. Those again, the 2 trees that you see on the left side are actually ash trees, and I've had 2 tree services tell me that in about a year or 2 they will be gone. So I got a bid to have them both removed, and I would definitely like to replace them because I don't want cars cooking in the summer. I'd also, when I redo the parking lot, I'd like to do a couple islands if possible and break things up a little bit with more landscaping because it's just going to end up being a huge rectangle sheet otherwise. I really like this view. Shows the 3 different roof lines. Again, all I'm trying to do is just, I want to redo all the windows all at once. And I basically want to bring back some type of a grid to each window. Right now, they're just hodgepodge everything. I mean, there's got to be 20 different makes of windows on this building. And nothing was kept with the character at all. And they're poorly installed, too. But basically, I'm looking for a color preference, and that'll start, I guess, with the roof, and then go from the gables of those green shake, and then the window trim and the gutters and downspouts. I want that all to coordinate. Again, just another picture. Again, I think this is a beautiful corner property that, as we all know, I think everyone in the city is itching to see something different here. Again, this was more of a tree picture for me. This is the courtyard in the back. At some point, that fire escape is gonna have to be completely redone, and I'm almost thinking it'd be best for myself long-term to do an elevator shaft. This place really needs something for maintenance and definitely for residents to go up and down. People are leaving couches in the hallways because they don't, when they want to move out, they don't have either help or they don't know what to do with it besides throw it over the fire escape. Same thing with garbage. They're throwing garbage bags outside and just leaving them there when it's convenient for them to walk them down to the dumpster. And I don't blame them. Again, it's not fun. So I've owned it for a month now, and it's a lot of up and down. The handicap ramp I'd like to bring back, but for now I gotta take care of a drainage issue that's making the bar. Since March of 2017, now the bar is just raining every time, or getting wet every time there's a medium to high rain. And I also want to turn this courtyard into an area that pretty much every resident here can enjoy. Right now it's only used by one person, which is a 2-bedroom unit on the first floor. And basically they've been taking care of it because the previous owner just did not care to enhance this area while he owned it. So again, when the garage comes down, I want to redo this dumpster area as well, and I know I need to comply with the city on an enclosure. And right now the dumpster garbage truck guy cannot get in there very well at all, and I'm sure it's 10 times worse in the winter. I'm working with the city right now on the police department, actually, and the community officer about there's probably 8 out of the 10 bikes here are abandoned and been locked up, and they've been bent over for 3 or 4. I mean, they're all rusted. Seats are missing. Just been sitting here forever. I want that bike rack in the back. Might be inconvenience for the tenants, but I don't want to see that in the front at all. I've been going to Milwaukee a lot. I have a quick couple pictures of some Milwaukee ideas from the 5th and 3rd Ward areas that I think are all the same kind of age buildings that have been pretty much completely overhauled. Again, here's another picture of this garage. Again, a hodgepodge type of dumpster enclosure that can't wait to get rid of. And I really don't need a garage. I'm pretty efficient on getting materials that I need there and getting the job done and not keeping extra things laying around. Okay, and then I'll try and get over to this other old, or actually the new pictures. So this was actually just some ideas I took from the river, downtown river area of Milwaukee, and just a grid idea for the windows. I'd actually like to do tighter grids where it'd be more like a 6x6 for each sash or a 3x3, depending on if we can find some old photos and maybe bring back that original character of the window. But I also like this idea. It's clean and simple. Again, I really want to focus the attention on the brick. Again, I apologize for the smallness of this of these pictures, but this was almost by the Summerfest grounds. I just took this, but I like that awning. Maybe not so much the cable tie that goes back into the brick, but I'd actually like to do like the pillars or some type of metal column on each side of the front door canopies that I was explaining earlier for the bar downstairs entrance. But this is a standing seam roof, and I'm not sure how you guys feel about that. But again, here's some landscaping pockets, I guess I'd call them, rectangle beds that they're doing by the new railway down there. I don't like that full sheet of concrete out in the front of the current building where that bike rack is. It's just there's absolutely nothing there besides the city's street lamps and a couple hanging pots. Again, I was taking this for a landscaper. I like the house that was in the middle. But again, I want to do I want to do something different in the front there. This was something I was thinking about for the main entrance of that lobby on the front door, to cover up the steps. I wouldn't do the cable again going back to the wall. I would do more of a column. But I do like the standing seam. It's very functionable, especially with the snow load. But I do have a couple slides here coming up of some samples, which I think a lot of you guys would appreciate that are on the Landmark Commission. You know, I'm looking for something again that I don't have to ever touch again, and I'm willing to, you know, if I got to pay double or triple for what an asphalt shingle would cost, that's what I want to do, because the way the attic is set up right now, the ventilation is poor. I can enhance it and make it better, but overall, a metal roof is going to perform much better than an asphalt shingle roof, and I really like the character of these samples so far. And I've talked to 3 different metal roofing companies, and like I said, I got to be very careful on how I spend my money with this, because obviously I want to get the as much done as I can with this building in the first couple of years, especially the exterior. Again, here's just another idea. This is actually a pretty poor example of what I want to do with the current building, but again, many buildings in Milwaukee, I'm trying to pull ideas, but I could not find a shingled roof or a hipped roof. Everything in downtown Milwaukee or that I've traveled so far in the immediate area has been pretty much flat roofs, which gives me a hard, you know, it makes it hard for me to give you guys a good sample of giving you a side-by-side comparison of what I'm dealing with right now and what I want it to be. I guess without spending a bunch of money and having a full computer 3D rendering for you with all the new materials on it. Again, here's another window. I'm not opposed to red, black, or the green, which I think are all historic colors for this building I've seen on certain parts of the building so far. But I like this grid system as well. But I'd probably be doing double hung windows. And balconies are pretty much out of the picture for this project. There is one balcony up in the gable. It right now has about 6 inches of bird feces on it. That's kind of the condition of this building that I'm dealing with. So we're just back to square one there. But I guess I can stop blabbing. I just wanted to get in as much as I could here and let you guys proceed with your meeting for us tonight. But the biggest issue I have right now, why I was here, is the roof. I really need to properly communicate with these roofing companies to get the best estimate. And I am also going to be meeting with the new CDA administrator basically next Friday at the building, and see if I can get some financial assistance for these big ticket items, which was at the recommendation of my bank, which is First Citizens down here. And so I guess I just want some feedback. I can email you guys some more photos as I come across them in the next week or two, and go from there. But I guess I see a lot of I guess non-compliance, so to speak, for lack of a better phrase, on what the building currently is as far as historic value. But I do want to bring something back. But I also want to make sure it's new materials that I'm very picky that are, nowadays we have so many choices. I want to make sure that I'm making the right choices. And Richard has seen some of my other work, and I know the neighbor house I did on his old house that he just sold. I bought a house about 3 or 4 houses away, and I did not, bring back the full character of the house, but I think I made it 2015, 2016 nice for what it could be. But like I said, I need your guys' permission for modernizing the place without destroying the historic value of it.
So this will be an ongoing project, and you're talking about doing it over a period of time, years.
Yes.
And your first priority is the roof.
The roof, yep, and the front entrance and the bar entrance on the front,
Entrance and the bar entrance.
and remove those cloth canopies.
And you are replacing the cloth canopies.
With the new windows and the new trim going around each window, I'd really like to show off the windows, and I'd like to enhance the gable shake that's there right now, that green. Take that off and do something to complement the new roof and the brick. But I don't want to hide them windows. And putting cloth back up is, I think, counterproductive. I'm going to have to keep replacing them. And
Those awnings have been there for, I'm going to estimate, since this was designated a landmark in 1998. Richard?
Perhaps Dave Salsa, do you know when those awnings, I know these are replacement awnings, do you know what was there beforehand?
I can always speak back to about 86, they were there then.
And I can't recall about earlier photographs.
I have a picture of a double-decker porch on the front that almost took up the whole width that the seller gave me, and then obviously in the lobby there's the old Walworth Hotel picture,
Right.
which is actually covered up with a lot of trees, just for the photo's sake. But I think Chris Munns Pritchard, she's been able to pull up a lot of historic stuff for me in the past, and maybe I can just email her. And but that's really why I'm here, and why I talked to Michelle Smith right away, because I know that I do want to make some changes, but I do think it's in the benefit of everybody. I mean, I want some real wow curb appeal for this place, and I see a lot of it in Milwaukee, and I know we're not trying to do what some other city's doing. I'm just very impressed with their outdoor cafes. It's just very vibrant down there, and they serve obviously the student community, but they serve everybody from 8 to 85. I mean, it's just certain areas of Milwaukee I'm very impressed with, and I see that happening here with this building and a couple, basically with the Main Street area. But that's my only wish is if I got to put cloth back up, I want to minimize the maintenance.
Are there any comments from the Landmarks Commission?
Before they put the cloth awnings up, I don't think they had awnings on the front, back.
Yeah.
say 30 years ago, there was no, the whole front of that building was totally different the last update, the way it is now. That was done, when that was done, the whole front of that building changed. Because prior to that, there was no awnings and, you know, where you went down to the bar, that was all different.
Mm-hmm.
And on the side where you went into the bar, that was different also. I don't exactly remember what it was, but I know that was a great big change when they redid it.
Yeah. And I think the metal roof, I definitely, you know, want everyone to kind of, you know, pick out the material and also the color. And then that'll dictate what I do with those awnings, you know, not the awnings, but the canopies of those two front doorways. But the first thing's just the roof, and if you guys aren't opposed to a metal roof, I guess the biggest question is, can I do a standing seam roof, which you see on a lot of commercial applications now? I see them on a lot of historic buildings, but again, the sample I showed you earlier has the more of the shingle look, and that's just starting to hit the market in like the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
And I'm also not too keen on buying the first generation of something either, with the way our products in this world go nowadays. I'd like something true and tested, but I do need a metal roof
Yeah.
on this building. So
Your intention is not to change the roof line.
no, not at all. No.
It's just simply to replace it with a metal roof.
Yes. Yeah. And I do want to. Right now, the gutters are on the roof with strapping, and that does work. But over time, I mean, I don't want to put a new metal roof on and then have the gutter guy come on and then put straps and 2 screws on every 3 feet through my new metal roof. So I need to redo all the fascia. And then Michelle Smith actually brought that up. She said, if you start changing the fascia, I said, well, it is red and it does have some, you know, curvature and character to it. But I mean, take an eyeball look when you guys walk past. It's really, really bad. The fascia is just from years of, you know, typical roof replacement is, let's just go over the top of the shingle. Let's not replace any of the decking. I mean, I also need to remove 2 14-foot chimneys that are literally hanging up with a toothpick support, for lack of better terms. I mean, I do have some pictures of that on my phone right now, but I do plan on redoing the heating system and the water heaters, and there's really no reason for these chimneys anymore. And I need those down as soon as that roof goes up, because that's just can't be done later. And but I do need to redo the fascia to get the proper gutter system on. And as you guys have been hearing that the bar is having an issue right now. He's not even sure when he's going to open up because of this water issue. I mean, we're literally have a kick in the stomach feeling every time the weather forecast is not in our favor, and that's just not a good way for anybody to do business. And like I said, I know I'm taking on a project. I've been reminded 1,000 times from friends, family, and people down here of what I'm dealing with. But I've been doing this my entire life. I'm 41 years old. I've almost been doing this 25 years. And I feel like I'm the perfect candidate to take this on, because I feel like I'm going to be doing this for a lot longer. So, and I have the motivation to do this stuff. And I spent 4 months hee-hawing back and forth about, you know, this, taking on something this old. And I've been down here 15 years. I've owned couple dozen 100-year-old homes now. So, but I'm also a new construction guy too. I also want to take what's good in this world and bring it to this building that's out there and available for us now, and not keep making the same mistake. So,
Dave, did you have any comments that you wanted to make?
Yeah, why don't you come up so we can get it on the record, Dave?
Hi, my name is Dave Salsa, and I live across the street from the building in question. And I applaud Mr. Aschenbrenner for taking on this project. It's a huge project, so I wish him all the luck. And I guess I'm not sure what your intention is for the Landmarks Commission to try to maintain the original integrity or look of the building. The building originally would have had a wooden shingle, which, of course, no one uses wood anymore. But There are other products that replicate that, there is metal roofing that looks like that, sculpted metal shingles that have been out for a number of years. They've been used a lot in Canada, and it is probably more expensive than your standing seam metal roofing, I would guess.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's really, up to you on what you want the look to be. The sweet spot does have a standing seam metal roof. That, I believe, is a historic building also. Is that, or not? Is not. Okay. Anyway, so you know what that looks like compared to what a sculpted metal wood shingle-like roof would look like. So I just, I think that if that's an option that is applicable here, it might want to be looked at seriously. As far as the shingles, on the gable ends of the building, that is always a problem with them blowing off, just like the roofing is blowing off. Again, metal applications there might be another option. Sculpt it to look like the original, building materials. It's a great old building, and it just needs some love. Are you going to be addressing some of the tuck pointing issues too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got two masons have already looked at it. I can't even put windows in until some of the window ledges are replaced, just because of poor water management. I mean, gutters, downspouts. I mean, I'm getting the Center Street house that Richard just lived by. I'm having that retuck pointed here finally, but again, no one believes in gutters and downspouts, especially the student housing stuff. But yeah, this building, I'm guessing 30, 40 grand is because of $4,000 of gutters and downspouts that were not on there properly. So
I'm a member of design committee, as is Lisa, and when we put together design guidelines, the booklet, it was through the help with the Main Street architect, and pretty much one of the mantras there in preservation is anything but vinyl. So as far as looking at vinyl on the siding for that is kind of a no-no for historic renovation.
total agreement. Yep.
Okay. And then as far as the windows go, I think the original windows in that building would have been a 6/6 sash. I think you could, you showed a picture of a 2/2, which is also historical. May not be historically correct for that building, but I think whatever, Landmarks Commission thinks is appropriate for the building, I think would all look good, especially compared to what it is now. Be a huge improvement. Their two recommendations were a wood sash, but now with clad wood sashes. If you're looking at a vinyl window, that's something that we would have in design committee not approved, but a wood clad or a vinyl or metal cladding over wood sash would be acceptable when we were looking at projects like this. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Yes,
Your guideline book is available to Randy
absolutely, yes.
for just suggestions.
Yeah. It's just, we were only an advisory committee. We did administer the facade grants when we did have money to let out. That money is now gone, unfortunately, but we still give advice to people that want to upgrade their buildings, and the design guidelines are something that was prepared a number of years ago with the help of the Main Street program, and so anyway, we're always here to give advice. It's worth what you pay for it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Lisa. I also understand, Randy, that you do not have our landmarks ordinance. That is,
I don't think, Michelle sent me a 10-page attachment, so it should be in there.
okay.
Again, I just,
If you do not, we'll
Yeah.
provide you with a copy.
yeah, I'm on a week where I'm at home at 10 and leaving at 6 in the morning, so I'm just, apologize, yeah.
When you submit your plans, they have to be in writing.
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
And we would appreciate that as soon as possible, and then we will be able to act as soon as possible so that you can get a building permit and get going.
So should I tell these roofing contractors to price standing seam? I mean, I really would like to go with the shake. I mean, that's what I'm leaning towards, but I want to make sure, you know, I don't want not everything's going to be about price here at all. I mean, like, this is the biggest investment right here for this building.
Randy, let me suggest this to you and to the commission. We need the proposal to vote on,
Mhm.
and as soon as you could get a proposal to us,
Right.
we could call a special meeting. And because we want to facilitate the process as fast as we can.
Okay.
Because, like Dave said, we all want that building to stay in fine shape because it's such a cornerstone of our downtown. It has such significant historic presence. It's not only for downtown, but it's right on the edge of our historic district, Main Street Historic District. So we'd really want to bend over backwards to try and facilitate the process. But we need something like
In writing.
from your roofer, from designs. You mentioned not only the roof, but you mentioned, you know, a new gutter system, which perfectly understandable. And you mentioned changing some of the fascia around to accomplish all of that. So if we could get all of that in writing as this is your proposal for what the people are going to do,
Absolutely.
then we can speak more specifically on it.
Okay.
As far as color's concerned, I don't know whether or not we would, as long as it wasn't like Dayglow orange or, you know,
Right.
or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
we would trust your judgment that it wouldn't be something. I mean, nothing against the university, but nothing purple or, you know.
Right.
Well, I think,
No.
Richard, he mentioned red, green, and black, so.
Right.
I mean, he's staying within the parameters of historic color.
Yeah.
And that was built in 1885 as a luxury hotel.
Yeah. No, it's.
We hope you can restore it to a luxury apartment
Well-
complex.
I hope so. It's the interior is just a real piece of work right now. So I have my work cut out for me on that. But the attic has never been finished. It is a full walk-up attic. There is actually space for 2 more apartments up there, and I want this place running like a top for 50 years, as long as I have it at least, and you know, it's also going to help me pay for the improvements. For citizens, and I have talked about this several times, and the place was never maximized. I mean, there's 4 or 5 empty units right now for absolutely no reason. I mean, there's just some extra effort, so.
Then we're all on the same page. You're going to provide us with a written proposal as soon as possible, and to facilitate your proposal, we will call a special meeting so that you can get to work on that.
Okay.
And again, you can have input from Dave Salsa and Lisa Smith. They'd be happy to help you, and any way that we can help you, we would be happy
Okay.
to facilitate this. It needs a great deal of tender love and care, and renovation and
Yeah.
preservation, I guess, is the key. Conservation and preservation, so
Excellent.
thank you very much.
Thank you guys for moving me up. I appreciate that. Big time.
Certainly.
Thanks.
Give it to Peter, please. Thank you for your attendance. Moving on. Reports. A report on the Whitewater Historic Homes and Landmarks Photo Project. Dan Richardson.
Nothing much is new. The process continues. I have to get to the Epps, Marks and Stuff's house and take photos there, for the new brochure.
And I want to add that Chris Mons Pritchard was very kind. She dropped off a thumb drive, flash drive, whatever you call it, to the house, and it contains all of the homes in the R2 overlay district and photos of each home. So that was a big time saver.
Where did that come from?
It came from the city.
Oh, my.
It's on a Whitewater City thumb drive, and it now belongs to Landmarks Commission. So we're very pleased with that. That was a wonderful assist. Any other comments on historic homes and landmarks? Moving on then, thanks, Dan, for your report. Status of the burial preservation acts, Richard?
Hang on.
Too fast.
Try pictures of all the houses and the R2A, okay. Okay. Burial Preservation Acts Committee, no report. I personally probably shouldn't say this, but I don't think there's going to be any action during this legislative term at all.
Okay, thank you. We'll keep it on there, though, because we want to know what's going on. Kenny, do you have anything on the Brickyard Park?
I haven't met with Michelle, but Cameron, I did talk to Cameron, he called me, I think last Friday. Oh, no, it was on Monday he called me, because that was when he found out what had happened. And he wants to make that down there, the dog park, in that area.
So we would have an additional dog park? 2 dog
No,
parks?
No, he's gonna do away with the other one because it's so wet.
Oh,
It floods badly.
Yeah, definitely. And the one down on the end of Jefferson Street, that would be up in the air, and it would be dry most of the time. Not always, but most of the time.
It would certainly be drier than what there is now.
Oh, yeah. After the rain we had here a couple days ago, the water's,
oh, okay.
Shanghai doesn't mind running around in the water, but there's a lot of little dogs that don't.
People don't like putting their dogs back in their vehicles after they've been running
Yeah,
around in the
'cause
water. That's a,
If you don't have a
issue.
leather seat or something, why, they get it back in when they're wet.
Okay.
Anyway, Cameron's working on it. He said he hoped by September that he would have something finished up.
Okay.
I just talked to him that one day, I got a meeting with him, next week, but I gotta change that because I got a doctor's,
Okay.
thing, so I don't know if it'll happen or it won't happen, but,
Okay, well, thank you for your report, and keep us posted regarding that, please.
yeah.
Effigy Mounds Preserve, Richard, any?
I have no report.
I do have just a little comment. I did meet with Chuck Noss, and I did give him the maintenance guidelines that the Ho-Chunk Nation has put out regarding effigy mounds, and certainly with the situation with the storm damage, the suggestion is that any action should wait until the ground is frozen for removal of any of the trees or the limbs. So Chuck does have that in hand, and he was very appreciative that that was brought to him. So we'll just, again, it's another waiting pattern.
You mentioned it's, what is the document? It's the guidelines or?
It's the guidelines from the Ho-Chunk Nation for burial mound preservation.
Thank you.
Well, it probably should wait until fall, or if we happen to have a real dry August, then maybe. But otherwise, needs to wait because that's quite a bit of lowland area up there.
Well, the chance of further damaging the mounds would be hopefully greatly reduced when they're frozen.
Yeah.
So I think probably we're going to even have to wait until winter. Inventory tags for city-owned historical property. Suzanne, how are we doing?
Michelle has everything.
Oh, wonderful.
So I don't know if she placed the order yet. When I called this afternoon, I didn't realize she was already gone until you just said something. So I'm not sure if the order has been placed yet, but all the communication happened, all the ducks were in a row. I brought everything to her, And they contacted me and said, we need to talk about your FedEx account, and I referred them to Michelle because I know nothing about our FedEx account. I didn't even know we had one. So hopefully they'll be able to get that information. Maybe even Ellen could have given them that, I don't know. But I referred them to her and for that type of thing. So my understanding is that once they have all the ducks in the row about the order, then we get the proof, and then they do the design, and that whole process takes about 3 weeks. So that's my understanding of it at this time, and I don't know exactly where we are with that, so hopefully soon.
All right, wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.
Does Michelle have the invoice?
The
Or-
invoice, she has the quote, is that what you?
Okay, the quote.
She has the
okay.
quote, they actually sent me a credit application too, which I also gave to her, but I don't think we need to use. And they have another form, I gave them our tax exempt number, and they didn't want our form it was on, they have their own form they need it on, all that sort of stuff. So I filled it out to the best of my ability and then gave it all to her, along with the email they sent me regarding, here's how you contact us.
And there is money available to take
Yes.
care of the stuff, no problem.
Yes, that is my understanding, that the money is
I
there,
took
and
care of
this
that
is how it's
before.
going to be spent.
The last meeting I had with Cameron, so.
Yeah, so, and then once the tags are here, then I guess we organize our posse to go out and start sticking them on stuff.
Correct. Okay,
There's-
thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate that. Proposed library expansion project. Richard, do you have any comments regarding that?
There has been no further official communications regarding the project.
Thank you. At this point in time, and I don't know if our last meeting transpired before or after the fact that the green shutters, at this point in time, according to Troy Hoekstra, the developer, is no longer a site in question for the development project. So
Is that common knowledge?
that is common knowledge. That was discussed at a library board meeting, and that was a public meeting, so therefore, when it was brought up for discussion, it is common knowledge.
Thank you.
I talked to my sister about the whole thing, and she said, no way would she go along with anything but where the library is now. And my mother donated a fair amount towards the library fund.
So what you're suggesting would be to keep the library where it is and just expand it to accommodate what is needed now?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, Janice agreed that, you need to expand it. But they spent a lot of time back when my mother was still alive picking that spot, and she said that that's where they wanted to see it be expanded, because that was the reason they bought as much land up there as they did at the time it was built.
right.
I believe in an email from Troy Hoekstra, there is mention in that email that he was looking at the current library property as a place for the library.
Okay,
I don't know if that means a total new construction or an addition, but that's the way the email read.
I know Janice's comment was, well, what do we need one over there for when we got the library up the street?
So we'll just have to hold tight and see what develops with all of this. And at this point in time, though, the green shutters, or what we know as the green shutters, or referred to as the green shutters, is no longer a site, in his opinion. Hello, building, how old are you? The June project with the library. Again, we send many thanks to Corey Oberly, who organized it, and Deanna Rolfsmeyer, who hosted it at the library. While the attendance was less than we would have hoped for, I think it was a very, very successful project, and I think we'll probably continue in that vein One of the suggestions that came up was doing something regarding the effigy mounds and having a program for children, either recreating the effigy mounds out of clay or making a snow mound in the winter. So all of that will be kept in mind, but it was a great educational venue, and I thought it was great fun.
I received feedback from several people who were under 12, and they suggested that they needed more time with the clay, and that they also had fun, but they wanted more clay and different colors. Or they wanted to paint the clay, and I said that we couldn't really paint during landmarks because it would take too long to dry. And also, paint is just messy and no one wants to deal with it.
Out of the mouths of babes, right?
Well, and their suggestions are suggestions from younger people.
Right.
So they're perhaps not what their parents would intend for them either.
Well, thank you for that input. We'll keep that in mind. Richard, have you got that in the minutes?
No.
More clay, more colors.
Play more colors.
Okay. Hang on, I gotta go back there.
Also, at least one person suggested glitter. I don't know that I'd want to go that far. Just for completeness sake, I mentioned that.
Thank you. We'll ditch the glitter, though. Any other comments on hello building, how old are you? I do want you to know that I did, on behalf of the Landmarks Commission, and I added all of your names, send letters to both Dina and to Corey, thanking them for doing that for us.
Well received, too.
Good. Birch Fountain Conservation, Dan and Ken, I know that there hasn't been a meeting.
Well, there hasn't been a meeting, so I don't think there's a report, although the
No.
fountain's up and running.
Yeah, almost gotta wait, and we gotta wait till that report comes back.
Right, and I did contact Cameron Clapper regarding whether or not he had received any information from the conservator at Oberlin, Ohio. Unfortunately, I did not get a call back, so I don't know, but I'm guessing that chances are that they have not submitted their report yet
Who
at
did
this
you ask?
time. I called Cameron.
Oh, okay. This next week I'll find out.
Okay.
For sure.
Unfinished business. We're doing the ongoing designation of local landmark status for neighborhoods. We're continuing to work on developing the PowerPoint. And the subcommittee volunteers to work on reprint of the brochure. Dan has written a little line for the new brochure for the Machnis Epps House. And Peter, can you bring that up on the screen for us, please? The Machnis Epps House? Can everybody read that?
I'm having trouble reading it.
You can get up and go.
It's just at a funny angle.
Designed by American architect Peter Fritz Drager, circa 1970, the Machnis Epps House is one of the...
Now I can't read it at all.
There we go. Thank you, Peter. There we
Oh,
go.
good. Can you see that, Ken? Okay. Any suggestions, corrections, additions, deletions?
I like it.
Okay.
Do you need a motion? You don't need a motion, do you?
I don't think we need a motion.
No,
I can
thank you.
remember when that was built. Going to high school and watch them build over there.
Right. Going along with that, The reprint of the brochure, there are 50, according to when I was down at the Chamber of Commerce, there are 50 to 75 landmark brochures left that look like this. And so it's almost time to probably reprint these. We have, at this point in time, 4 landmarks to add to this, which would be the Armory, Stearns Park Water Tower,
Boxes up.
the Magnus Epps House, and Walton Oaks. And so there would have to be a slight redesign to this. And if there's anyone that would like to sit on the committee for that redesign, that would be great. I think basically we'd follow the same format. I'm pretty much impressed with this brochure. The way it was designed and the way it was done, the fact that it contains so much information. But I think there are places where we could delete things in order to add the 4 existing new landmarks so that we could include them in here.
I think it's a great size for a walking tour.
Yes, it is. It's actually,
Very
mean-
compact.
again, it was printed by GMA. Is that correct, Richard?
I believe so. It's printed
And
by
they-
GMA with money donated by the Tourism Council.
And it's probably a given, I'm hoping, the Tourism Council would consider donating the money again to reprint this new brochure. And because GMA has obviously the digital version of this, perhaps we can rework that without a great deal of problems.
Yeah.
So let's keep that all in mind, but we've got everything, we're working on the Walton Oaks, which is next up. Walton Oaks is a local landmark site confirmed nomination, and you have the packet in front of you. I do want to point out that I did make some additions under statement of significance, and one of the really big things is the first paragraph. Oak woodlands of this type of vegetation in the Midwest are really highly endangered, and we're really fortunate to have one in Whitewater that we can certainly conserve and preserve. And I think it behooves us to do that. I think it actually puts us in a position where this would be a fantastic local landmark. Land records that, going back in plat books and so forth, indicate that this white oak woodland existed prior to European settlement in the county. So, you know, we've got a lot of historical things here going on, not to mention a lot of ecological things, and I think we should move forward. Are you all in agreement?
Yep.
Yes.
Then,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
I think probably we'll need a motion on this, please?
Is there anybody, call for anybody from, let me back up here. Have the surrounding property holders been notified?
Not at this point in time. The first step is that we do this. The next step is notification.
All right, so this,
The property owner that donated the property is adjacent to this, what would be a local landmark, and is certainly, which is Ruth Walton, is certainly more than in favor of this, as is her entire family. We know that there has been encroachment by the next neighbor, and the city has been dealing with that encroachment on Walton Oaks Park. There's been flower planting and
right, I'm just.
tree planting and different things like that. but-
I'm just trying to keep the process clean.
Right. The-
So we're not voting on the nomination as such, we're voting to forward the
We're-
nomination.
Exactly.
Okay, I will move to forward the nomination of Walton Oaks for landmark designation.
I will second that.
Omika has moved to forward the nomination. Haslo has seconded. All in favor? Do we need a roll
Discussion.
call vote on this, Richard, or can we just do a general vote? I'm
Discussion.
sorry.
Discussion first.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Does this lie wholly in Jefferson County or
Yes, it does.
the whole park?
The whole park lies wholly in Jefferson County in the city of Whitewater.
Yep. It's anything, Dan, anything past the street by the park is in Jefferson County.
Okay.
Yes. I also want to indicate to you, is there any further discussion? I'm just going to
Oh,
add
is-
one
is
thing.
My understanding correct that Ruth Walton is in favor of this as a member of the family?
Yes, Ruth Walton is in favor of it,
As a family member?
as well. Her son and daughter-in-law were the donors of the property to the city of Whitewater. City of Whitewater is the owner of this park. And in addition, the Urban Forestry Department was supplied a great deal of research for us and is also in favor of designating it as a historic landmark. Currently, the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, I believe Wes Enterline is involved with working on conservation of the park in terms of getting out buckthorn and certain invasive species, as well as the Urban Forestry Commission sends out volunteers periodically. So I think all we can do to preserve this fantastic little piece of property and keep it native and a true oak woodland would be a fantastic thing.
Call.
Any other discussion?
Well, I would agree that the fact that it is there's a nice stand of white oaks there, and they're endangered, will probably help whatever the other groups in the community to keep that woodland safe for the future. I think it fits appropriately with the mission of the Landmarks Commission to make this give this a landmark designation.
Any other discussion? Call for the question then. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes unanimously to move forward, and I will forward this to Michelle, who will then contact the
Send out.
necessary people.
She has to send out by mail.
Right, she has to send out a notification to the neighbors, and she also has to post a hearing for this.
Yep.
All right, recruitment of Landmarks Commission members. I had the wonderful pleasure of talking with Dr. Kathy Brady from the Communications Department at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, who happens to be a Whitewater resident living on Franklin Street. She also happens to be a native Whitewateran, born and raised here, and she has applied for application to the Landmarks Commission. Michelle has her application in hand, and it is my understanding that there's a possibility that commission members will be appointed at the next city council meeting on July 18th. So hopefully she will be an individual that would join us. And I
Is her name with a C or a K?
it's
I believe it's a K.
Okay, thank you.
I believe.
I think it's a K too, but I can't be positive.
I believe.
Okay.
Okay, don't hold me to that.
I can spell the last name for you.
I can sing their theme song.
All right. Review of open meetings and open records laws. That was going to be something that Chris Grady was going to address, and he is on vacation, so do you have something, Suzanne?
Oh, I was just going to pull up my copies that he gave me because I made some notes. But if, are you heading that we're not going to discuss it right now?
Well, I thought maybe we would table it until Chris is here.
That sounds fine, then I won't bother.
Okay. Is there any objection to tabling that? Then let's go ahead and table it until Chris Grady is with us for that.
Read through it, and I couldn't see that we had been violating anything. And some of his statements were not correct, so.
Okay, well, we'll wait until Chris is here so that we can all discuss it together. Joint Landmarks and Burge Fountain meeting, as far as I know, that's still in the offing. Again, that was something that I had called Cameron about and was hoping to be able to report to you this evening regarding that, but I can't because I did not hear back yet from Cameron. Let's move on then to individual commission members' projects for July. Dan?
Well, I have the photos of the two additional, potential additional landmarks designees to the brochure, and assuming that the Walton Oaks thing will go through, I'll start writing that.
Okay,
paragraph.
good. Suzanne?
I have 222 Center Street.
Good. Richard?
Minutes.
Thank you. Ken?
Probably
Do you need a little break?
Yeah, I'll work some on that park
Okay,
thing, but
all right.
I'm not working on a real lot right at the moment. I'm working on getting
Getting better.
better at the moment, so
That's okay.
it's kind
We
of,
want you healthy.
We understand. I am going to certainly delve into Randy Ashbrenner's requests, and be prepared. If, when he gets us his written proposal, we will call a special meeting for discussion regarding what he would like to do. I'm also working on another landmark designation, and I will add that to future agenda items when we get there. We have done the Landmark Hotel presentation. City insurance covering commission and boards, that was a question that came up at our last meeting. As a commission, are we covered through the city insurance? And the answer is yes?
yes.
Okay, I know
And-
Chris
and
was going to investigate that for
Well,
us.
I know, and the person I talked to said he should have known that it was.
Okay, well, okay.
Well,
General,
it's always good to confirm.
right,
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I know something, but it's still best if I confirm it.
Yeah, the city has a policy on all the commissions and the commissioners that covers all of them.
that would have been my assumption because I work for a historical society and I'm on a board there, and, you know, we have board of directors insurance, so I'm assuming that cities also have
I
some
found
kind.
that out before I got sick, so.
Okay,
Um,
all right, so
Question.
we'll, yes, Richard.
Could I request that this item be brought back on our next agenda so Grady can speak to it?
Yes,
Because he
absolutely,
said he was going to contact the city attorney.
right.
Okay, thank you.
Whitewater Local Landmark Certificate and Plaque, Michelle is, I believe, in the process of working on that for Dr. Virginia Epps. She should get a certificate regarding the fact that her home was placed as a local landmark in the city of Whitewater. And she is also entitled to a plaque. So that's, Michelle is working on that. The Lyman White Octagon House, I think we discussed at the last meeting, is for sale. And the realtor has been sent a copy of our Landmarks Commission ordinance, as well as the Whitewater Historic Landmarks Guide. So there should be no questions there regarding that. It's just a heads up to him so he knows what's going on.
Did he respond at all?
No, not at this point in time, but perhaps he will. Future agenda items? Richard, you wanted the
Yes, please. City insurance.
city insurance brought back, and I believe we also need to bring back the review of open meetings and open records laws, which Chris was going to address. The information that was forwarded to me from Michelle Smith regarding a possible new local landmark was a home in the 900 block of East Main Street, 900 block of East Main Street. And this was brought up years ago to the Landmarks Commission when Linda Loomer was the chairman. It was the Manthe House, and apparently the Manthe House is rather unique because it's two refrigerator units put together to make a house.
What's the name of this house again? Can you
Manthe, I believe it's spelled Manthey.
Where's the house?
Michelle does not know the exact address. She believes it's in the 900 block of East Main Street.
It'd be down past the school, and,
Yes. Past Newcomb Street over
okay.
Highway 59.
So we'll all be driving home that way tonight?
I
Trying
go
to
out-
figure out what a
I
refrigerator.
go out that way quite often, every day, so I'll just come home a different way.
Which side of the street is it on?
I believe it would have to be on the north side of
The
the
north side?
street because I don't think there's any houses on the south side.
No, that's
That's all.
just parking and
factories
stuff.
and-
Okay.
Factories, and then they have a parking lot on this side.
Okay.
And I'm not even sure the house would qualify. You know, it's just something that needs to be investigated. So I'll do some legwork on that prior to our next meeting. Any other future agenda items?
No, I just have a comment, though.
All right.
I got the deed for the house on the 4th, and originally the house that I'm in, they owned the whole block. I read through all the paperwork that went with it. It took me about 3.5 hours the other night.
Wow.
It's got all the progression from when it was built, the different people that owned it, and what, it was all the way, it was Milwaukee Street on the one side and Clay Street on the other. They owned that whole lot across there. I thought that was quite interesting.
Very interesting. All right, if there are no further future agenda items, I will adjourn the meeting at 7 minutes after 7.
Thank you.